Imagine living in a place where the closest mental health professional might be hours away, and the stigma that surrounds mental health looms greater than the support for it. Some of y'all might live in a very rural area like I do, and uh, going through a tough situation, there might not be many places where you can go to find help. And it is very important for us to be able to receive mental health help whenever we possibly can. I feel like I am qualified to talk about this problem because I've been studying psychology and counseling for the last 4 years in school. And the lack of mental health services in rural areas has become a big problem and continues to become a bigger problem. And I feel like bringing in community-based services like church groups and group therapy in these areas can help support this problem. Let's dive deeper into the problem. The lack of mental health services in rural areas has been a problem for many, many years. And I have a few statistics that talk about this problem. In rural areas have 20% less primary care providers than urban areas do. And 65% of rural counties do not have a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And as of 2021, 37% of the population in America lived in an area with a mental health professional shortage. And I'll also have this chart here that just kind of shows you the darker states are the states that have less mental health professionals in it, which are a lot of the more rural states. And why is this such a big problem in these areas? That is because there's a big stigma that surrounds mental health in these areas. Stigma is a social problem that might cause shame or embarrassment for the individual that is going through a mental health problem. And this stigma surrounds these areas because there might be some traditional beliefs or cultural norms in these areas that might view mental health as a weakness instead of an actual mental illness. What could be a solution to this? I feel like a good solution is to bring in more community-based programs like church groups and group therapy. New research has found that active religious participation can influence your mental health and your well-being, which I fully believe in, as in, like, the more faith you have in something, the more easy it will be to get through a certain situation. And where these rural areas are so close-knit and everybody knows each other, I feel like group therapy can be good to bring in friends and family to actually talk about mental problems and find solutions to these problems. That takes me to my conclusion. In this speech, I've talked about the problem of the lack of mental health programs in rural areas, and talked about one of the reasons why that is happening, because of a strong stigma against mental health. And I talked about one of the solutions that I thought could work, as in bringing community-based programs into these areas. The more we ignore that mental health is a problem in rural areas, the more the problem is going to get worse. And we need to get rid of the stigma and bring more of these community-based programs within rural America so we can take away this staggering problem. Thank you.